and some of those, you know, solid old-time touches. But when we come back, again, don't forget we are at Fairway Hotel, Kampala, where also nature meets and fuses with some of the realities in, and of course, tourism. Some of you who love to relax and have a good time away from home. Now, watch this, learn something, but also Priscilla is going to tell us how, why and her inspiration was motivated towards something that deals with hangovers. Let's take a look at this. Good morning.
I will tell you the truth. When the sun that rises over Kampala Nile Resort touches your skin, you will start to glow and you'll feel a certain sort of energy, because even the birds around this place, when they feel the sun coming over them, they start to sing, they start to laugh because they're excited for a new day. Equally, it's a new day for us here on Good Morning Uganda, and this time round we are stepping into the kitchen of Kampala Nile Resort, located in Namambe, and we're making home here for today. And I am going to meet my new friend. He loves to cook. He is an addict, and at the end of the day he became a chef. However, he was telling me about this recipe that helps people, you know, heal from hangovers. I don't know how that works, but apparently food can actually help you with your hangover. So join me as I join him with our cooking for breakfast. Knock knock.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Priscilla. You're welcome.
Thank you
You're welcome
so much.
To my kitchen.
Oh, this is a very small kitchen.
Yeah, it's small.
My kitchen is bigger, so maybe we should switch places.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay. That's great. So it is going to be fun cooking in your kitchen,
It definitely is going to be fun. So Kamal,
yeah.
How long have you been a chef?
See, almost 24 years now.
Wow, 24 years.
It's been a long time.
You started from India?
I started from India. I was in Tanzania for some time.
Okay.
Now almost 1.5 years I'm in Uganda.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm told you're going to cook for us something that heals hangovers.
Yes.
Since when did food? I know food is medicine, you know, juices of medicine. But since when did bread, eggs become medicine?
My God. Yes, it is a medicine. First of all, I would like to welcome all the viewers. Welcome Uganda. Good morning. Good morning Kampala. So please welcome to Kampala Nile Resort, a small kitchen, as Priscilla has said. Although we have a very big kitchen down, I'm going to show her later.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to show you around today how to make eggs benedict.
Eggs benedict. It sounds like we have to pray for the eggs first.
First, yes.
Benedict. Okay,
eggs benedict. Right. So it's a very simple dish.
Yeah.
Actually, it was invented 1860s.
Wait, 1980s or
1860?
1860s. So how did you adapt it into the menu for Kampala Nile Resort?
Actually, you know, when I was going through, and sometimes I went to Kampala, people had too much, you know, they drink. They go for Saturday night, Friday night.
To sip, yes.
So they have a hangover in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
So then I come up with the idea, why don't I give something to have a nice breakfast in the morning to the people who have a very good hangover in the morning.
But Kamal, hangovers in the morning come with headaches, they come with people seeing double sight, and they're very hungry. So I know it will sort out the hunger, but what's the relation with the headaches?
See, actually, I mean, people who generally drink, they know. If you have some lemon juice, lemon water, and egg and bread and toast, so that, you know, kills your hunger. And the moment your hunger is killed, you know, your hangover goes away.
All right.
So it's very simple dish. I'm making it here, but you can make simply with the bread. I'm going to show you here this side. You can cook with
toasted bread.
Toasted bread. Yes. You can use white bread. Or maybe brown.
Is this French bread?
Yeah, it is called English muffin.
English muffin.
So you can, but I know English muffin.
Kamal, you have to get Kampala muffin, or
Kampala muffin, sorry. So you can cook it with Uganda muffin, even mandazi, I would say.
Even mandazi can work. Yes, I love
it. It will work because you cook the mandazi, and top of it you can do it.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very easy.
I will try that at home, and then I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
deal?
Please, yeah.
Okay. So I see bacon here. I love bacon.
So I would like to tell you, there are a few ingredients required almost. I have kept some for just garnishing, or if you like tomatoes or capsicum, onion, you can add on to it. But this is a very simple recipe.
So you've said something complicated. You know, Ugandans don't understand capsi. So this is green pepper. You called it capsi. This is green pepper. We do have onions. We do have bacon. We have tomatoes. We do have some celery. We do have parsley. You do have salt, black pepper, and then what?
Eggs.
These are eggs. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's interesting. And then the raw eggs equally.
Yes.
Yes. So why are we boiling water?
So, water we are going to poach the egg.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. The poached egg is like a 1 second. Drop it, dig it
Yes,
out.
yeah.
I've always wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to try it out?
I made fail.
Ah, okay. So let me give you a ball. You break the egg by yourself, and okay, let us do it.
This is where the examination board.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Yay.
It's okay, but that egg has the yolk has
The
broke.
yolk has to.
No problem.
Okay.
Now use this egg.
All right.
It's okay.
All right.
Now you just pour it slowly here.
Okay. All right. Here goes.
Just slowly
Just slowly.
in the corner. Yeah.
In the corner.
Just little down. Yeah.
Okay.
Just slowly. Why slowly? Because if you put it in, from little top, then egg yolk will break.
Oh.
So we don't want egg yolk to be break.
Okay.
Egg yolk supposed to be.
So from the videos I've watched, it usually has salt. The water has salt.
I have added salt and
Okay.
vinegar in it.
Salt and vinegar.
Yeah, it
Okay.
helps to coagulate the egg.
Yeah.
And it gives the taste.
All right. Okay. In short, is meaning it helps to keep the egg together and also tasteful.
yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
then slowly we can,
You can turn it.
yeah, we can turn it slowly.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so slowly it will coagulate and it will cover.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
slowly.
slowly it will, become one whole piece.
Yeah,
and
it will cover the whole egg.
It will cover the whole yolk.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. First time I'm doing a poached egg, and I think I've nailed it. Okay,
And,
come on.
and one thing more
While
I
we
would
wait
like
for
to
the-
add, even
yeah.
if you don't want to eat with anything else, you
Yeah.
just have a
Just a
poached
poached
egg
egg.
with the bread
Yeah.
or with any sauce you want.
Okay.
I mean, that is also, a very easy.
Perfect.
People actually who are very health conscious, they don't want to use
Yeah,
too much
oil,
of
cooking
oil.
oil,
Yeah,
that's
cooking
true,
oil.
that's
So
true.
for them, it is very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Then what do we do next?
Yeah, so now I'm going to show you how to, just toast English muffin.
Please,
Because
please.
people, sometimes they don't have a toaster at home. So I'm going to show them how to toast
So you
on
flatten
the
the
pan.
vessels?
Yeah, I
Okay.
flatten so that
Alright.
because you are going to put it like that.
Yeah.
And then you slowly, you put here. You want to try? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Even you can put yours.
Ooh.
It is very simple.
So
Even you don't
just
have
give it a brown feeling
Yeah.
and also make it a bit hard so that it can flow very well. with
very
the
well.
poached
And
egg.
we are going to apply some butter on it. So
Alright.
it gives you the taste.
The butter is applied after.
After.
Perfect.
After.
How long do you do that?
I mean, just for a minute.
A minute.
Just for a minute. You have to
Right,
give just,
check.
not even a minute. If your pan is hot,
27,
even if your pan is hot, maybe
30,
35 seconds is
35
enough.
seconds.
It's done. My God, you're counting too fast.
I'm counting too
So
fast.
you can see,
See,
little brown.
I
Eh?
wasn't counting so fast.
You give little brown color.
Okay.
You can see like small, the color should
Yeah,
be
let
here.
me do mine. Come on.
Okay.
You're not cheating my exam. A little bit.
Let's give some time.
Yeah. It's like playing with food. Okay, so this is eggs benedict that we are making here, Kampala with Chef Kamal, who believes that this is a perfect recipe for people who wake up in the morning, you've had a night out, and you actually need to redeem your senses.
Yeah.
So the eggs benedict does sort you out hunger, and also the hangover and the headaches will all just disappear. We've done the poached egg.
Yeah, I would like to show you the egg. Now you see the egg by yourself.
Okay.
Now egg is being poached
Ah,
nicely.
nice.
See?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use your egg on your recipe. So you can use a knife.
Okay. Uh-huh.
You see?
Yeah.
So
But if someone wanted to keep it there longer, can they keep it there longer?
yeah, you
or-
can keep it. You
But the point of the poached egg is to be semi-cooked.
Semi-cooked,
Yes,
semi-cooked.
Oh
Yup.
yes, I have remembered. Semi-cooked eggs sort out hangovers. Yes.
Yes.
I've remembered.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
So now I'm going to add one more egg on it,
Okay.
so that at least it will kill your appetite.
Okay.
I mean, it's supposed to be sufficient for you.
Okay.
Now I will like to show you how to make hollandaise sauce.
Hollandaise
so that
sauce.
is must. Eh?
That is
It is very simple. You put
A bowl
A bowl
the
in it.
boiling water.
boiling water.
Then I
Then
drop
you need
in.
some Yeah, you need some 2 egg yolks. I'm going to give you.
Okay. So I would have to scoop up the egg yolk.
Yeah, 2 egg yolks. I mean, it depends on you, 2, 3 or 1. If you are single, you can use just
appetite,
1.
Really.
Yeah, it depends on you.
How many eggs can you eat? My brother eats 7 eggs in a go.
You know, generally 2 is enough for me.
Ah, okay.
So 1 egg yolk.
So we are making Hollandaise sauce, which goes with the egg benedict.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
I have removed the egg yolks.
Yeah.
Now,
cooking using water, you don't actually have to go for the cooking oil.
now you
water
have to be a little careful. You
okay.
hold it with it
Okay.
like this, and then you have to whisk.
The heat.
Yeah. Then I'll pour some.
All right. Here goes to the left-handers. Thank you so much for watching Good Morning Uganda. And
so now you have to add some lemon juice in it. Yeah.
Okay. Whisking.
Yeah. You just whisk it.
Okay.
Salt according to your taste.
Lemon water. We have added some salt.
Some black pepper, crushed black pepper.
Is spoiling me.
Black pepper. You like black pepper?
Black pepper.
Oh.
I mean, we are Ugandans, though. It comes with paper. And even in India, your food is all paper. It's bitter but sweet and nice at the same time. So definitely pepper is part of any recipe. All right.
Now,
then
I have some melted butter here.
Okay.
I'm going to add. You continue whisking.
Oh. We're making Hollandaise sauce, and it goes with the eggs that
let me explain you about the Hollandaise sauce. It's very easy. You use butter, 2 egg yolks, some lemon juice, some salt, and some black pepper.
Black pepper.
That's all.
Okay.
And you just combine together.
Oh, right. Felix, this one is
Let
for
me
you.
melt it.
Oh, we are melting it.
Yeah.
Fire in the hallway! So melted butter.
Melted butter, slowly you can pour.
Okay.
And
Just one spoon?
You continue it. Now I'm going to pour all.
All of it. Butter.
See, again, it depends how much you like.
Yeah.
If you don't like too much, you add, but actually it's a butter sauce. You can see it's now coagulating. It's becoming thick.
Yeah.
It's becoming thick, you see?
Yeah. Yes, Chef Priscilla. Good morning, Uganda. This is a nice way to actually wake up.
And it's very simple. You can do it. It's becoming thick now.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so we have eggs in here. We have some salt, some lemon, and some black pepper. And then we have added melted butter. And guess what it looks like? It has become tough. Okay, come out.
Yeah.
I've already seen those tomatoes on a plate.
Yeah, so that's tomatoes I'm going to grill just to give some color and taste along with it. So now you can see it is becoming. So I leave it for some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
To become thicker.
Yeah, a little thicker.
All right. I would love to see his tomatoes.
These are tomatoes.
On a breakfast plate.
Yeah.
But
So
I've never known how they do it.
just cut one into 2 and just grill them. You can use some butter, olive oil, or whatever you like.
Okay,
I'm doing it with butter because butter gives.
Trying this at home.
You see?
Oh, nice.
Now nice color will come.
Yeah. So you know how you chefs do the flip? Can't you flip the? You can flip the tomatoes.
You can flip, but the oil will come this side.
Oh yes, that's.
So it is better to try all these tricks. You can burn yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what do you call this tomato?
Grilled tomato.
Grilled tomato. Yeah. Okay. So if someone actually has a grill, can they just butter it and put it in a grill? Though it will take longer.
Even you can do, if you don't want oil too much, you just cut one into 2, put in the oven, and just you make them dry.
Okay. How long do I have to do this?
Just to give some little color, and they're supposed to cook and little juicy.
Oh yeah.
So that they're
because
supposed
when you
to be.
slice it, it comes up with a nice tomato juice.
Yeah.
I do understand the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But equally, it's also not for people that have hangovers. You know, it's also people who enjoy a nice breakfast, a full meal in the morning, on a Saturday morning, on a Sunday morning. This would be nice to engage in with you and your family. You give Felix to do the tomatoes, you give Chirabo to break the eggs, and then I do the cooking.
Yeah.
And our family for Good Morning Uganda is done, breakfast is done, awesomeness.
Perfect. Even it is a kind of a lunch. If you want to have it little Sometimes you woke late.
You know, for single people, they even always have bread.
Yeah.
They always have
So
bread.
just when you woke up late, then you are confused what to cook in, I mean, lunch. So no need to worry about it.
All right. Just cut the tomato into two.
Yeah. So now you see some color has come in tomato. I'm going to place here.
Okay.
So even it gives a good color. So you see, food when you eat with colors, it gives you the better feeling.
And apparently each color has a meaning. Yeah.
So it's a colorful food. Okay. Now I just placed one tomato. Already we put the English muffin. Okay. Your eggs are there. Yeah. Now I'm going to add
the garnishing.
So
do the garnishing.
We have to put some bacon in it. I mean, if people don't like bacon, they can skip bacon. So I've already grilled the bacon.
I'm really tempted to eat the bacon the way it is.
So there is two things, whether you put the bacon first or you put the bacon later.
So this is what they call garnishing. Garnishing is designing food.
So now I'm going to pour the sauce.
The chef's kitchen language is garnishing. So if you ever hear someone saying garnishing, they're meaning that they're designing the sauce. So this is the Hollandaise sauce, which was the butter, the egg,
butter.
The egg yolk actually, and a little bit of salt. Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now some chopped parsley just to garnish again to give a color to the dish. You see, nice color.
They make it so complicated when they bring it for you, Kumbe. It is just.
This is some chives. If you want to play with it, and I mean you want to do some, you can just do like that.
Okay, so I have Felix here that is going to do the tasting for me and see if Chef Kamal's hangover eggs Benedict actually works.
Just to be clear,
he's not hangover. He's hungry. His stomach is hungry.
You know, we're discussing about what's the meaning of hangover. Maybe Chef Kamal will tell us how do they come to what hangover.
See, sometimes it happens to me also. When you drink too much in the night and you don't eat food,
so you get
hangover.
Okay, so
a little salty, little sour. You can feel.
It's what?
I don't feel the nail special.
I can't hear you. Oh, there's a relation between nail special and nail resort. Okay. Okay. I definitely have to try out the tomato and the bacon. I love the bacon. Okay.
Try what's that, the butter or something?
Yeah, some sauce.
Hollandaise sauce.
It's perfect.
So for the slave queens who want to learn how to cook.
The ones who take a wet tea.
Okay.
You know,
This is good.
Thank you.
This is good.
The tomato.
Wow.
Finishing the...
of course, for obvious reasons, my stomach is hungover, so I have to definitely take old Bigana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You are a perfect chef.
Thank you.
Kampala Resort is a perfect place. Thank you.
Thank you. I welcome you all. Please come and try.
Grazie. Buono. So good.
Thank you.
I wish I could.
It's okay. You can.
Please.
Don't
just
fear.
one last bit before before Priscilla eats all the bacon. I need to
dig in.
And deal with my hand over.
Overhanged. Ah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
All right, we will be right back, and we'll definitely be checking out more of Kampala Nile Resort. Catch you around. Again, good morning. At Fairway Boutique Hotel. And now, just to go back into time and revisit history, when we look back in 1895, we had the British East African region and then protectorate of Kenya, of Tanganyika, and of Uganda. In 1890, we had the British starting one on the East African Railway. They wanted to connect the market to the economy right from Shore to Mombasa and cause trade to be within their protectorate region, which was Kenya, Uganda, and also Tanganyika. Now, what happened is that they had to have labor to do this work, and the British were not about to do the work themselves. No, they had to invite Indian coolies to come and do the work. And what happened is that after 1895, we then had a growing population of the Asian community in our very own region of East Africa, and most especially in Uganda. In 1972, they were expelled by then President Idi Amin, and we had none of them, but they left property here, they left businesses here. They had actually established themselves as Ugandans in Uganda. But good enough, they were brought back home, and today we do have and celebrate an Asian community that we do have with us in Uganda. My name is Priscilla, and good morning to you, Uganda. Good morning to you, Asian community. We are making home at Fairway Boutique Hotel. It's an Asian fused hotel, and it is one that we're going to be enjoying its spaces, just having a little bit of Asian fusion touch in artistry, design, food, and so many other things. But of course, I don't do it alone. I always do it with a gentleman called Felix Nkunda. I left him at the entrance, then he said he's going to take a tour around, but I have no idea where he is. Felix, 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 Felix. Oh.
Hi.
Oh, you're present.
You reminded me of that.
Ended up in the room.
You reminded me of that. Used to think, where are you? Here I am.
Here I am.
Yeah, and most of the times when I'm home, my little girl is playing peekaboo.
Oh, yes.
And then, yeah, the places to hide in the house are not so many, so she only hides in one place.
Yeah.
And, but you have to pretend like you don't see her, you bypass her. That's
So,
that's what comes with parenting anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how are you finding Fairway Boutique Hotel? Are you
it's,
enjoying the
it's awesome, I must say.
Okay.
It's very close in town, and you find that it's in the heart of Kampala. It's just a drive away from most of the business centers. So it's a good place to come and relax as you go to work. For some of you who can afford it, you can sleep here a week or something. But previously, our viewers have been watching the benediction.
Oh, the benedict. The egg benediction.
Yes,
the
and
egg.
exactly. And we're praying and trying to understand. Probably that's where I'll ask Kawa to also tell us how it deals with. Before we go to that, good morning, Ivan.
Good morning to you, Priscilla.
That's supposed to be like
Good morning to you,
I
Felix.
know.
COVID-19.
Yeah, we go sanitize.
Okay. I'm really doing well.
Yeah.
And I like the ambience of the place.
Oh, yeah.
It's really very nice.
It is.
And as I came, I saw somebody who was swimming. I was like, I wish I came with my attire.
You don't need
Well,
it.
yeah.
Here. No, but
I prefer coming with mine.
There are shops here that you can buy a swimming costume from.
Yeah,
You can
I
dive
see
in.
where you're
No,
going
but
now.
also, there's something we used to do when we were kids. When you go to the swimming pool, as kids, we never had to prepare those things, manyanga swimming costume. For the guys, just remove the clothes, remain in the underwear.
Yes,
But the
how it
only
is.
problem with that, every time, there's a time I remember I used to swim at a place called Kadiba. You dive,
It stays up.
so you swim, you swim, you swim. Then you're like coming out like, like then everyone's like, whoa, like, what's happening? Like, whoa. And then niggas
And
like,
they're
what you
girls.
mean, pare?
So, have you ever done a chidiba?
Yeah, I have ever done it.
Yeah.
You know, in that water that looked green,
Yeah.
with a lot of, I call it fungi, underground.
yeah.
So even when you're stepping there, the place is a little bit
Slippery,
slippery, as if it's... So we've ever done it. And you'd come out of the swimming pool when the eyes are red.
Red.
So your dad would be like, you guy, what's wrong with
I
you?
remember the time we went for swimming and there was some plant that really would cut. It cut the whole of my back. Like, so when I went home and my mom was like,
Where have you been? What have you been doing?
I
Did
know-
they
it was hard to explain, man,
Ah.
because first of all, they refused us to go to Vidiba to swim,
Yeah.
so I didn't even have an answer.
Well, I did have an experience with Vidiba, but a lot of my childhood, we did a lot of swimming just in the lake, Lake Victoria. So Nabinonya was kind of our sport. It's either resort for that matter. Now, what happened is that in Nabinonia, I mean, it's free, risk at your own risk. So we'd get into the pool. So this one season where they had that green algae that was coming afloat. So we get into the water, we're swimming, and then suddenly we come out and we have green hair. Our nails are green. Thinking, what happened? Only to look at the water and it was actually turning green. And then they have stones at the shore, literally. So you're trying to find best, and you get cuts, stuck out with cuts. Up to now, actually, you have one scar from Nabinonia. And look at it and remember.
I heard you mention the word algae.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to go into a village school and try to be critical with language. I went to a school somewhere in the West, and the kid was like, hey, this place has a lot of argoi. So, argoi. And I'm like, so I had to like try and, it took me like 20 full minutes trying to understand.
To decode.
I have to go and ask like,
so what are the
kid,
options that came to you?
I wouldn't like connect. I'm like, try to get, what did you point at? Because I'd really failed.
Yeah.
Kid points at algae. I'm like, who told you it's argoi?
The teacher.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And the other person was saying mosque. Instead of saying mosque. And again, I was like, what?
Also,
mosque,
they were
mosque,
reading it
mosque.
literally as it
and
was.
I asked the kid, who told you it's mosque?
Teacher.
So I'm like, the teachers, what do you teach?
Do you know that was the best technique to grasp it or to cram the spellings of words?
Yeah.
I also grew up doing that, by the way. Like temperature, I said temperature. So whenever I'm in class, I would first say temperature, then I write it down. Otherwise, if I didn't do that,
for you to
so
get
even
the
the
spelling
exactly.
right.
So how would you then read the word psychology?
That one. Actually, I used to ask myself why, if the word starts with P, then why do you say psi? Now even the xylophone, it starts with X, but you don't hear the X. So
you say Z.
So you used to want to remember spellings by trying to craft words. You know that there's a danger there. Like what's like Psalms?
Definitely.
Psalms, yes.
Yeah, by the way, Psalms.
And Palm.
Yeah, Palm.
Parazimzi.
There's also this one, this latest one, algorithms. And you're thinking, yay, how does that work?
Algorithms?
Yeah. You know how you just hear it, algorithms. So now, how do you write Yeah, it was a very, very tough word.
Yeah, it
English.
is.
Very interesting.
English, and I don't blame no one. It is not a language, but it is a language they have tied on us, and we are tied to it.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
I know.
But speaking of English, I remember one of those past days we had a conversation, and I'd like to hear Kahwa's mindset about it. In Tanzania, it is Swahili. In Kenya, they've done a good job of also maintaining the local national language. In Uganda, we struggle with one, identifying which exactly is the national language, and so the current generation of parents are giving back to children, and the children are speaking purely English, which means that at one point our local language, our local dialect is going to die out. How can we redeem that?
I don't think our local languages may die out. And borrowing a leaf from myself, whenever I find people who hail from my place, I already do speak my mother tongue.
Okay.
And even when I find the guys who speak a language similar to mine, then of course I'll respect that language in that regard. But going forward, when we look at the English, I think Uganda was ranked one of the best English-speaking countries. So that is really very nice for us as a country. And I believe, just like other countries, if we did intensify Kiswahili, but you do remember a few people have studied Kiswahili. Like for me, I grew up in a community of Kiswahili, so I grew knowing how to speak it.
Kiswahili was the trading language across the East Africa.
And now in East Africa, it's the only language that can bring us together as Kiswahili, not English as per se. So I believe we should just front so much so that we can promote the Kiswahili bit of it. Though people think it's a language spoken by thugs, you remember all those kind of stories.
They should have started that much earlier. And even if now they want to do it, the attitude, the pace they're trying to do it is so bad.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
bad. You can imagine, I can even challenge, for example, it used to be a language for the forces.
Yes.
I can bet out of 10 police officers, you find only one who can mama Swahili.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, we are definitely enjoying Good Morning Uganda as we are making home at Fairway Boutique Hotel, and we're definitely at the back of the poolside. We are about to take a swim after here, but we want to take a look at some of the local stories that have actually made headlines in the last 24 hours. People have been talking about parliamentary affairs, education affairs, and so many others. Now, getting into it, we get to look at Parliament asking government to revise the parish development model, which aims at relieving Ugandans from poverty. The MPs, backed by the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, have asked the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to carry out a pilot study on the proposed parish model strategy before splashing a huge $403 billion in the budget. Kasaja was also recently bounced by the Budget Committee after he could not satisfy the members of the intended parish model plan. The money language has continued to dominate the rhythm as the 10th Parliament gets concerned over misallocation of government funds targeting the fight to end poverty in Uganda. Matia Kasaja, the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, has since been challenged in satisfying the government-approved program dubbed the Parish Model, which aims at organizing and delivering public as well as private sector interventions of wealth creation and employment generation at parish level. Kasaja, who was bounced by the Budget Committee, has tabled a ministerial statement on the parish development model to the 10th Parliament, which he described in 7 pillars, including financial inclusion, social services, mindset change, and community data, among others. In the parish development model, government seeks over $400 billion in the next financial year, 2021 into 2022, to fight poverty, especially at the grassroots levels. The government of Uganda has rolled out a refugee jobs and livelihood integrated plan to empower refugees with entrepreneurial skills. The first Deputy Prime Minister Alhaji Moses Ali, while launching this project, encouraged building relations and incorporation with available government projects. As the influx of refugees increases in Uganda, government has embarked on improving their livelihood and that of host communities through social, economical and financial inclusion. It's against this backdrop that a job and livelihood integrated response plan for refugees and host communities has been designed. The government of Uganda has been providing land for refugees, and due to their influx, it has decided to embark on capital development initiatives of money mobilization to reduce dependency. This money-making project in refugee communities has been initiated by the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Hundreds of mourners have converged at All Saints Cathedral to pay their last respects to former Electoral Commissioner Tomasi Sicier. Sicier, who formerly worked as Uganda's High Commissioner to London, is said to have succumbed to intestinal cancer. The State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Henry Okello Oriem, describes him as a possessor of unique leadership and public service capabilities. Starting at his former workmates, friends, relatives and in-laws, he was in the casket containing the lifeless body of CSA Tomasi. His being dynamic did not only end at his life as a public servant, but also as a family man. His wife, children and grandchildren remember him for a man who always valued hard work. The Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, has urged people living with HIV to stop regretting but remain brave and take medicine as directed by the health workers. Mr. Maiga said this during the closure of a 2-day summit of people living with HIV held here in Kampala. Statistics from UNAIDS shows that 1.4 million people in Uganda are living with HIV and about 120,000 people have access to the life-prolonged drugs. Uganda Network of Young People Living with HIV/AIDS held a 2-day summit intended to educate these young people living with HIV. On closing the summit, Buganda Katikiro advised youth to always test and find out their serial status through medical process other than testing by physical appearance. Katekiro Maiga also condemns some cultural norms and practices that have continued to exacerbate spread of HIV, especially among the youth. And that brings us to the close of the local stories that we have been looking at. Of course, on the international scene, we also do have some conversations. I hope there's not Mainima. Is there any Mainima?
Mainima and Sichu Chang. Clearly, we won't have that, Priscilla.
Okay.
But we'll be definitely be looking at Joe Biden, and this will be his decisive decade to make taking or tackle climate issues and change. The U.S. President Joe Biden has also told major summits that we are in a decisive decade for tackling climate change. Of course, the U.S. has pledged to cut
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Doctors say other hospitals have just a few hours worth the supply left. Now, a number of people have died while waiting for oxygen, and more than at least 99 of all intensive care beds are full. India is in the grip of the second wave of COVID-19 infections, and on Thursday recorded the highest one-day tally of new cases anywhere in the world. The country has recorded at least 16 million confirmed infections, and there have been at least 300,000 new coronavirus cases in the past 24 hours, while the death toll has risen to over 2,000. And of course, still speaking about World Health Organization, we're looking at the World Health Organization coming out to make mention that Africa countries should not destroy COVID-19 vaccines that have passed their expiry date. Countries have been told to keep a hold of them and wait for further. And it's supposed to be all right.
And it's supposed to be okay for the African continent. Ivan, what's your take on this?
That's so terrible.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ivan took his job.
I haven't yet.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I was
the guys in the newsroom took all.
the evidence.
I'm also being calculative.
You must be calculative.
He's
What's
not
there to
above
calculate?
50. He's
Have you taken
he's not
news?
above 50.
You see, me,
We're in the
I
same
am
boat.
fine.
We are in the same boat.
I don't feel anything wrong with me, and I think my body can fight.
Have you taken the jab or not?
Yeah.
Me,
That's what we're asking. Yes or no?
this job,
Felix is
this
trying to
job I'll
spin.
take.
Well, you don't have to actually flex, but you can
Yeah.
actually come here for a morning workout at Fairway Boutique
Yeah.
Hotel. You can come for a morning swim at Fairway Boutique Hotel. You can come here for a continental breakfast at the same place. And so we are going to be doing or trying or attempting all those three things while we make home here for Good Morning Uganda Special Fridays edition. Now follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter handles. Ivan, what's your Twitter handle?
At Ivan Kahwa.
Kakwa. Mr.
Kunde Felix, 3.
Okay, and mine is Priscilla Nali, Nali with a double L-I-E. But on UBC, you can always find us on Twitter at UBC TV Uganda. The hashtag is UBCGMU. And on Facebook, we're streaming and going alongside you with our stream live on UBC TV as well as YouTube. For the Basamas, I know they're pretty much most addicted to YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, UBC Television Uganda, and you will be able to catch up with today's program.
But of course, also now we break down a song for the day. Of course, also put you in those Good Friday vibes, so you can, you know, sort of like make you or prepare you for something big coming as you prepare to. Meanwhile, why do you have hangout places you know of? You know, Kawa also does some other pastime.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we shall discuss that later. But let's take a break. Have a song for the day. But when we come back, Me, Kawa, Priscilla will be doing our newsreel, of course, touching a couple of stories, highlights of the week, and later on, of course, we will be joined by Rachel, and also we'll get to know more about the place where we've been hosted, that is Fairway Hotel. Let's take this break, have our song for the day, but we will be back quite shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
UBC, brought to you by.
Their job is to keep you and me healthy and well. But sometimes they try in vain.
Was brought to you by. No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire. Load MTN Freedom Bundles using My MTN app and enjoy the freedom to finish your data bundles. MTN.
win it.
So by the time I finish work, the hour all the time for relaxation is so minimal. I have like an hour to, you know,
just
time
get home
check
and rest.
9 o'clock. So it just hit home, and then I do it on Saturday. However, on Saturday I go out and do the things that I love to do.
Okay.
Far, go for a swim, or even adventuring.
That's a good one. But speaking about adventuring,
What is Felix? Compare and contrast.
me,
Felix 2019 and after 2019.
it just gets worse all this.
How?
I tell you, it gets busier and busier and busier.
No, in terms of having fun, we don't want to know about your working.
For some reason, every time I grow older, I go away from fun. No, like every other person, I go away from the fun thing. I don't know what happened. Some things that used to interest me never interest me anymore.
What used to interest you?
Like hanging out with the guys.
Till like 4 in the morning.
Till like what?
Till like 4 in the morning. I'm just asking.
Yeah, once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah, but nowadays it's so boring. I'll be there like, like for real, like seriously. I'll be in a place now. Honestly, there's loud music, but I'm like.
Speaking of loud music,
So
there's a picture that went viral of a person who, I think they were completely drunk. They passed out on a speaker in a club, and imagine the speaker must be producing a lot of sound, and they were in peace sleeping.
Do you know what happens? The speaker simply throws you up and down.
You get it as a
there's a beat. But there's something interesting, actually, now that you brought about the issue of loud music and speakers. Like, when you're in those loud places like clubs, have you noticed how people talk to each other?
Huh.
Someone is here. Kwenda Ruoga! Tukena sawa mekewa ka. Then the Ruoga is like, sawa mukaga, waje, sawa mukaga.
And it so surprises me that even when they are talking, they are able to listen to each other. And these guys who sleep on the speakers, by the way. You see, however the speaker is loud, but the moment your body gives up that I am tired, trust me, even if you sat on that base, you can't feel anything.
Feel it.
But by the time you wake up, when your voice has actually died out.
If you want to enjoy the feel of dance hall and clubs, go to the village. You see, village is different from how Kampala people handle. Now you're there deep in Masaka, where? Let's say in Kabari, I don't know where. Now imagine a disco. Someone is asking a colleague what time they are going. And you know even the names. Nakatude. Waje.
Obude buchari.
Naita tuchawali. Wali wawa sesi.
Kayumba tebanaka kuba.
Like
Nakatude
is telling you. Tujagenda ga mukaga kituni. Wali wawa sesi.
And
tujaite elimu vitogo. You can imagine.
And if the soil has not yet evaporated, the DJ feels like the music needs to know. So they have to hype it.
The sound.
And when those Ugandans see the soil, they start rejoicing because the soil is going up. So it's really so crazy.
Ugandans and rejoicing, Uganda Communications Commission has joined the rest of the world to celebrate the International Girls' Day in ICT. And here in Uganda, UCC has engaged with young people and innovators to actually mark this day. They basically want to have technological inclusion to have the country develop at a faster pace. This is something I believe we can have conversation about today, because I don't know about you guys, but if there is one field, one industry that went from 39 to 250, that is the ICT industry. Information, communication, and technology were the key influences of the COVID period.
So, speaking about ICT, it's one of those things that you may not resist from any kind of conversation. Starting with probably even from how you wake up to how you go to bed. And even if I may ask, maybe just Kawa and you, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Switch off the alarm on your phone.
Again, on your phone.
On your phone.
And maybe for some of us who do a lot of interaction online with people, you want to check what messages.
Yes.
You may not open and read, but you just look at your notifications, try and understand maybe whatever came in or didn't come in. That's the first thing you do. Then you probably rush to the bathroom, come back, dress up, then make a short prayer, then So we sort of like, IT has come and proved its importance, and to every bit, to every bit of the society. Now, no wonder, for some of the countries that have been able to appreciate ICT have run far ahead of the others. For example, remember COVID time?
Yeah.
The world was down. People couldn't interact. Shops were closed. And guess what? We had all of us to go electronic in terms of transaction, in terms of learning,
cashless,
in terms of
wireless.
business. Exactly.
Yes.
Now, that's the power of IT. So for the ICT ministry to pick it up and make it an issue, even in terms of girl child, regardless of girl child, it is something that I think we must all focus on.
Yeah.
Interest ourselves, the communities in it, because it is one thing for it to be present, but communities to appreciate
but not consume it.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right, Ivan. There is this tax called VAT, Value Addition Tax. Now, allow me edit it a little bit and call it Value Addition Technology. Let us have a reflection to the period since 2020 when we went into lockdown. Now we are getting out of lockdown and trying to reform life around information, communication and technology. How is that adding value to the economy, social and infrastructure development of Uganda?
You see, when we look at ICT, when we talk of value addition, most times I don't look about the taxes and so forth. But if ICT and technology is just at the forefront, how have you used it to transform life? For example, using technology to market that good product. I call that value addition, because you're using the 50 MBs to add value to the way you communicate so that people can buy your products. That's quite very important. So I look at the issue of addition in that regard. But regardless, ICT, I wouldn't say we are doing well in Uganda. Not really. I would say we are doing well until people are comfortable using internet freely, and when government introduces programs that can enable Ugandans rightfully use internet.
What do you mean rightfully?
For example, there are people, you'd find Felix, he has 1 GB of data, but he doesn't use that 1 GB either to transact or to look for new ideas, but it's that, because that kind of thing, you're there to like and comment and like and etc. But then, even at that category that we think actually is redundant and doing nothing, they're actually earning money from what they do. So someone is just following specific people and they have a following, and they are earning more than those who feel, for me, I'm here to buy this shoe and so forth and so forth. And then when you look at the taxing in this specific country, you remember David Bart when they were introduced to that statement he said, after saying it's as if they were punishing Ugandans. It was a form of punishing you so that you can use internet very well. And when you hear that they were not collecting enough taxes because of the VPN, people were bypassing, it really shows you that Ugandans now understand technology and they would do anything, even if you shut it down. They will do anything to say that they access technology. Every sector in this country, be it the judiciary, be it business, be it health, mention it, even agriculture, ICT drives everything. Gone are the days when I have to sit in the same car of my coffee to transport it to the border, but today I can do everything. I clear my taxes with whatever, and my products are well okay. So I think government should just wake up and we see how we can tap into the ICT by telling people how you can use this service freely, other than saying we shall block ABCD. I remember, is it Mutabazi, the former ED of Uganda Communications Commission? 5 years ago, he said 5 years after, I think the 5 years are even done, we shall have our own communication system, just like how you see YouTube. Let me just say like China, because they have their own way of communication. They don't have the CGI Facebooks from California
Twitter,
and so forth.
Yes.
So he said Uganda would have had that in 5 years, which is now. But you see that in 5 years, the man projected it to happen, and we are seeing a little different things. Instead, Facebook is down, you know, internet is not stable these days. You're on a few minutes, you send a message, you travel 30 minutes, that's when it's delivered. So these days we are even actually losing many people because of communication.
Yes.
And I think we should really wake up the game if we want to benefit from it.
Well, as Kahwa has said, Felix, there's innovations that are out there. One of the companies globally that has invested is Amazon, Google,
Yes.
Microsoft. They have invested in actually development of, you know, innovations that are geared towards information, communication, and technology. And they have invested so much to the extent that I think literally in every part, okay, let me speak for Uganda. There is a community of Google people here, and they will give money, offer money for an innovation to Ugandans, and then they will go with the innovation and make it a Google innovation. But it was designed right here with a Ugandan hub of innovators. How can we tap into what we have? We have innovators, we have creative minds. People can now easily create apps that can aid in softening or making life easier for all sectors. But how can we encourage Ugandans to be able to tap into that so that we can arrive at another 5 years whereby we should be having a day where we have our own social media, our own communication lines, our own technology companies running it.
When you talked about another, I thought you were going to say another round. And that was reminding me of that song.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want another?
Yes, several.
But anyway, speaking about IT, you see, I think it's just about the vision of the country. Continuously, I've been talking about where are we heading? Where is our consolidated effort you know?
Yeah.
Where do you want to see Uganda 2050? Now, that should inform everything we do lately. IT is one of the things, if prioritized in a country, a third world country, it would do miracles.
Yes.
One, imagine a country where we don't have enough hospitals, enough schools, enough roads. Now, for you to deal with issues of interface, avoiding Priscilla have to meet Kawa have to meet you must find ways. Now, imagine if we could do what we are doing here at home. Every one of us is driving a car to Kampala. You get the point. You know, imagine if 1 million people, because you have 15 million school going, if at least half of that population doesn't have to move or commute or be in one place. You get the point. Let's look at the parliament, who they are spending to buy cars of 300 million each. How about we can have half of the activities done without actual interaction? Because it's the same thing. You get the point. You get the, I don't know if you get it. It will first of all reduce costs of operations. It would save us this, you know, it would professionalize how actual execution of work is done. We have these AGMs left, right, center, people allowances, attendance. Let's pay for the venue 2 million. Let's pay for food 3 million. Let's pay for transport 7 million. Consolidation of funds is an important thing, but for us to realize fully and implement this ICT thing, we must be working towards a common value, a common good, a common mission, a common objective. Now, in the absence of that, we are going to be scattered. And that's what we are doing. We are just jumping everywhere. You know, when the lockdown came, let's teach children on TV. Now, there are about 100 TVs teaching SST, math, rabbits, biology, cockroaches,
different
rats.
classes. You don't have a
Now, I don't know if a parent was supposed to buy 7 TVs, chemistry, so you get the, and that is the evidence of the absence of a common value towards an aspect of livelihood, by the way. Imagine how much we could do if we had an online hospital for consultation. Someone has to get a bus or taxi or what from PG to come to Mulago to consult about, just to have that interface. As I've told you, for us, we must reduce this interface. But again, all the things we are going to do in regards to ICT must be trickled to achieving something given. Now, in the absence of a given expectation of everything we do, we are not going anywhere, because you and me know that if you want to go to UBC from Fairway, you will start planning. I pass here, Should I go up Sheraton? Should I go past Marcos Suits? Should I?
Time?
Yeah. So you because you know where you're going, you even know the means. You can say, no, let me walk. No, you know, I can run. Let me call a Bajaj. Let me call a Okada. But because we don't even know where we want to be in terms of ICT, that's why Kawa is telling you, Mutabazi made a promise. He didn't know. He didn't anticipate that in 5 years. You didn't know where Uganda will be in terms of. But if he was anticipating, in terms of the plan, he would say, per the plan we have of 2050, we should be here by, because we have put these things in place, because we have at least all universities as a core, they are teaching ICT, maybe because every person who enters S1 now must, because now that would later on inform very much how far we can go. In the absence of a common plan of where we want to go, we're just joking.
In the absence of a common plan, this conversation can continue. Ivan, do you have a last remark about it?
I think I just agree with what Felix has said.
Well, you have, when we went into lockdown and so many things now had to be reshaped or redesigned, one of the things was most affected was education.
Sure.
And we had so many parliamentary, debates about it. The 300 billion to buy radios and
Can
TVs,
you imagine?
to be able to include or use ICT in order to communicate.
You see, when COVID came, it was a health attack. But then you look at the education was affected more in that regard, because we have a lot of kids at school. What was wrong with government to direct all TV stations and radio stations upon getting a timetable that from 8 to 10, all televisions across the country will be teaching. You have one center TV that is giving a feed, so that all students are studying at that time.
But these are private TVs, Ivan.
Which is okay, but
how much did government pay?
Let me ask you, how much money does government pay private media houses to relay when the head of state is speaking? So when the head of state directs certain things for Uganda, as his core mandate for the benefit of Ugandans, who are you to send your guys?
That would be unfair.
You either close.
Not unfair.
It would, but we're looking at the time in which it's being considered.
Yes. You know that the president is not above the law. Can I tell you something? even if the president said, and if TV is not able to relay the feed of him when making that speech, they can't hold them up because it's not under the law.
Yeah, but you see, not all of them.
It's out of respect and courtesy, though. That it's a head of state. This is a head of state. We must, and because the information is relevant in times.
That's what we're saying. Yes. Okay, this conversation can never end, but we have come to the realization that it's very, very important that we invest in information communication and technology. And as Felix has rightly put it, that unless there is a roadmap towards this, we may spend another 5 years just imagining that there are innovators and builders of creative things out there. And what happens is that now the mindsets will be there, creativity will be there, but it's going to be exported instead of being harvested right here in our country. So for those that are responsible for the Uganda National Development Plan, please put this into consideration for the next 5 years, because ICT is going to be a major driving force. It is Good Morning Uganda, making home at Fairway Boutique Hotel. They have been influencing Uganda's hospitality for the last 50 years, and we're here to make a visit with them. We're going to be enjoying more of their space, and as we get into a break, we definitely will be looking at the tabloids, what's making headlines in Friday's papers.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. Wegulire obagulire omulala Freaky Friday bando ng'ekirabo yiga star munyamwenda star 10 ashi okuteekako bando ya Freaky Friday onyumirwe ebinonogo bya voice ne data fogo okugulira abanywanyi oba ab'omumakago bando nyiga star munyamwenda star 10 star 4 hashi Freaky Friday ne Airtel nyiga star munyamwenda star 10 hashi nga kyekyo Airtel, the smartphone network.
2020 was the year the tourism sector got disconnected. But this year, we reconnect. To leads, growth, to industry experts, to wider markets, to untapped potential. Be part of the first ever virtual Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo and engage with industry experts from around the world. Find out how you can grow your leads, put your tourism business back on the map, and a whole lot more. Sign up for free at www.poate.co.ug/register and reconnect with your world. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo runs from the 27th to the 29th of April 2021 and is proudly brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board.
Good morning, Uganda. We are having our press review here at the one and only place that has existed for over 50 years. It was started in 1969 and today they make 52 years of existence and also influencing Uganda's hospitality. That is Fairway Boutique Hotel. Now we get to review the newspapers. Today is the 23rd day of April 2021 and we get to look at New Vision as well as Daily Monitor for what's making headlines in the tabloids. Now making headlines for me in picture for the New Vision is Ntagali appearing on the front page, and someone was asking, now what has Ntagali done? Well, he hasn't done anything bad this time round. He's just setting the record straight. Please forgive me, says Ntagali, reads the headline alongside the picture on the front page of New Vision. But we get to look at the black and white new cabinet to overhaul land laws. We also get to look at Senior 2 work inside, pass A-level biology and physics, swearing in 15 presidents expected for the swearing in ceremony of the president-elect of Uganda. Having a flashback on this day so many years ago, Buddo Junior Fire, was it an accident or was it arsenal? You have Uganda's all-female band that is unveiled and a trade report coming in showing Uganda exports performing well despite COVID-19. The full story is on page 6. Harvest Money is also here for you every single Friday. How can you earn profit from zero grazing cattle? That is very interesting. Felix, do you have cattle in your village?
Yeah, sure. I mean, who are you without cattle in Africa?
Surely.
What makes you...
Do you know, there's a time I went to visit some people and they have names for their cows and bulls. So do you name yours also?
Yeah, surely.
What one is called?
Django.
Django, eh? How is Django?
She's good.
Django is
I assume she's good.
Hey, she's good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What's happening in
but
your
of course,
Daily
in the
Monitor?
Daily Monitor here, quite interesting. Again, now Ntagali says the devil is a liar. Now, former Church of Uganda Archbishop Stanley Ntagali at St. Paul's Cathedral Namirembe in Kampala yesterday as the church marked 60 years of self-governance. Now, I've been trying to read Ntagali's story and it's quite amazing and beautiful and quite touching. I'm proud of you, Ntagali, if you're watching, but mostly I'm also proud of you, Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu. He's the one who invited him on the pulpit and they gave him an opportunity to speak. He said, let me invite my colleague, my brother, my comrade, Ntagali, to greet you.
Isn't that what brotherhood should be really?
No wonder I have this special love for Archbishop Kazimba.
Yeah.
And he knows. The few times you have interacted, he knows. But of course, also Museveni plans new land law. Says old laws have exposed many to evictions, and Buganda response defends Milo land tenure. Well, of course, we look at a couple of job opportunities here again in the Daily Monitor. Now, opportunities with RTI, Total, Enable, World Food Program, RSN, URC, Save the Child, and of course, ABT. Now, brace for traffic mess as works on flyover take off. And again, now down with old acts, of course. Hey, we're looking at maybe they are also securing their future. Doctors, agents stealing patients from Mulago.
Hey.
Okay.
And
of course, also again, inside paper, we look at Museveni engages workers on NSSF bill and Chadian junta reinstates Debbie's cabinet ministers. And now, of course, also from the archives, that is Andy Simon Kawesa, a former presenter on Radio Uganda, during the anniversary party to the Cranes band in Kampala. That is in 1974. You should look at these outfits, man. Worked with the radio station. This is hand bottom.
Hand bottom. Oh, it's on the hand.
I know. Yeah, we worked from the station from 1960s to 1990s. And of course, today in history, Dr. Koch dies in Machi, India, and Uganda's first woman to kill a lion. Wow. That should have been.
That's okay. When I look at my today in history in the New Vision, the 23rd day in 2004, we had 37 hurt at Nyapie College, and that was mostly Senior 1 and Senior 2 who suffered superficial burns during a hounding exercise on new school entrance. Wow. Same day, we do have in 2005 the first YouTube video posted, and it was an 18-second clip, me at the zeros. That is co-founder Jawed Karim, who's pictured here. But we get to look at Know Your Parliament, that is parliamentary elects, and we get to see before they swear in, what more do you know about your member of parliament? So Yumbe District Woman MP Huda Oleru, you have James Mamawi, who is Adjumani East, and then also Bukoli County in the north, you have Stephen Baka. You can get to know about them. Looking at COVID updates and statistics currently standing at 41,475 for total cases in Uganda. Death toll is now at 341 and recoveries are now at 40,898. We have not yet registered new deaths. Well done, Uganda. We have not yet registered any new recoveries. Well done to us for actually maintaining the SOPs, wearing your mask, social distancing, and sanitizing. People now actually have sanitization in their vehicles. They have them in the handbags and so on and so forth. Now, when I wrap it up and look at New Vision Sports today, we get to look at revamping cranes, not a simple task. And surely it's not going to be a simple task. I mean, by the time members of parliament are trying to ask for an investigation into what's happening in FUFA with the so many players that are choosing to pack up their bags and sign out as national team players, this needs good time. And we get to see a picture there of URA's Cromwell Rothomio and Gavin Chizito, who captained Uganda Hippos at the AFCON Under-20. Elsewhere, you get to see URA draws FC in round of 16. And so there is a Stanbic Uganda Cup round of 16 draw. The fixtures are up there. You will be checking them out. Ruben Pima will be taking us through those in the sports update. Also, the Star Times Uganda Premier League today at 4 p.m. We will be having some 2 fixtures, and Express against Vipers is the toughest cookie that is going to be dissected today. That's how my Vision Sports looks like. What does it
of course,
look
a couple
like?
of stories here. Again, Hungry Kakoza adds USPA Award to growing collection, and of course, Judgment Weekends for Group 1 in FUFA Women's Super League, and attention on Mangat there. Now, Red Eagles also need flight in Venom's test today, but also Bombers vaccinated and dates with history for Nemo Stars in Tunisia. And of course, Gaddafi, Arua Hill share points in 4-goal thriller. We're looking at what FUFA Big League there. We see Proline and Ndeje 1-1, Calvary 2-1 against Padilla, Luero 0, and Tororo United 3, Arua Hill 2, Gaddafi 2, Terrazzo and Tiles 1, and Chigezi 1 as well. So, and of course, from the European League there, we see European Super League spill over. Man United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer calmed fans at Carrington who protested against the Gaza family ownership with banners.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Well, of course, basically that's what's trending in the papers, and you should get yourselves the papers if you want to get in depth of the other stories. Quite much for you not to miss. Being a Friday is a pull out of Scoop on Scoop here. A Saturday nights like never before. Yeah, I can picture a view of some of the people who have been thrilling your nights on Saturday, giving you those good vibes. But anyway, get yourself a copy of the papers and be able to be informed and be a part of those informed and good conversations. Now, we'll take a break. Of course, we'll be having a traffic lady, but later on, we'll be having an interaction that does the roundup of the weekly stories. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave it.
happened in Tanzania.
You see what happened in Tanzania? Everyone was praising Magufuli. He had his own challenges as a president, but in the shortest period possible where he was, where he legislated in Tanzania, you find that his legacy still lives. There are quite a number of things he did in a very short period of time. But for Chad, I would just say rest in peace, Debbie.
Rachel, we're looking at a situation that is between a hard place and a rock for people in Chad. They have been yearning for change, seemingly, though the late now had also won the most previous election. Funny thing is that actually he was just waiting to be sworn in a couple of days. He went to fight for his country. He lost his life. The son, one of the generals, again. So, most recent, today morning, he has reinstated all the cabinet ministers. He's willing, I think, to work with the team that has been working with the father. But the challenging bit is this. When do you dissect such kind of family leadership, or people who have, people have this saying, we have done so much for this. Like, when do you dissect this from state operations? And this has been a challenge for African countries. Remember when Mugabe died, the wife wants to take over, this kind of thing. They had to fight. It was a very big internal fight. When should we dissect or put apart this leadership from actually state duty? Or how can we do it anyway?
I think the answer is the day after. The day after this particular gentleman took power is the day these safeguards would have been put in place.
Oh, yes.
Because even the way he came was a very clear sign that he intended to do things his way.
His way.
He began by overthrowing constitutional order, by removing a sitting president, who was Hussein Habre back in 1990. And it is not surprising that upon his demise, the same constitutional order has been again overthrown, so which means he has successfully transmitted unlawful ways of doing things to another generation.
Oh, yes.
So it means he has invested heavily in entrenching unconstitutionalism.
Wow.
That is just what it means. To them, it is a natural progression. It is not, remember, this gentleman, the son,
yes,
he selected a number of trusted generals,
yes,
about 12 of them.
Yes.
I think who the father felt very comfortable with. And so they worked to continue this way of doing things. But I think for me, more than anything else, the Western powers, they have to be treated with all the dread and suspicion that accrues to them. In this particular, I was watching the French foreign minister yesterday, and they were asking him these questions about France. France has a huge footprint in that area,
yes,
in that place.
Yes.
They have 5,000 troops in Chad, talking about their countering anti-Western forces. They pretend it's in protecting the interests of the people of Chad, but we know that they're there for their own reasons. And they kept asking him, I think it was a French television, what are you going to do about this man who has taken power unlawfully? And the man, the French president, he looked down the whole time. He did not look at the interviewer. And in body language, that means this man is ashamed of what he's saying.
Yeah.
He came out to say, oh, they're suffocating the security of this country, and therefore the military council is in order to do the interim thing for the 18 months. These are the same people which spoke about sanctions.
Yeah.
These are the same people who say Mr. Museveni and his team have violated constitutional order. They have done everything to defeat democracy. They are not good for the health of Uganda. How is Mr. Deby good for the health of Chad? Is it that your democracy is only good if it serves your interests?
When you benefit.
These people are shameless. These people must be really castigated. This hypocrisy of theirs has cost us a lot.
Yeah.
If Mr. Museveni is not doing the right thing democratically, Mr. Deby should also be tasked.
The standard should be the same.
The standard should be the same.
Yeah.
But it's because, you see, French colonies, France, unlike Britain, maintains a very imperial approach to their former colonies.
Oh.
They hold a very terrible grip on their day-to-day affairs of that country. So, Mr. Deby, Senior, and Debbie Jr. are not the only problem. The neo-colonialist approach to the affairs of Africa is the grand culprit in this situation.
Surely, and that has been quite evident in most of the areas and countries in Africa, and it's quite evident. You've seen in terms of policy, in terms of laws, in terms of implementation, in terms of budgets, in terms of budget priorities, all these come into play. No wonder you see countries focusing their budgets on things that maybe don't even help the country, but because whoever is blowing the piper somewhere. But anyway, speaking about priorities, now we'll also dive into the budgetary allocation. Most recently, we have had a big feud in Parliament, and the Parliament is questioning, you guys, let's be serious. Where are your budgetary priorities? What are we working towards with the way you want to allocate monies? Most case in point, we saw the minister present to Parliament a budget over 400 billion for security. And the MPs were asking, dude, look here, we are not at war. We are not dealing with this, but why do you want this to take the biggest chunk of the allocation? And for us, for me, it got me thinking, maybe again, I'll start with you, Rachel, before I bring in Kawa. Should we be rethinking budgetary allocations? What should inform mostly how we allocate monies, and what should be priority and not?
I think the priorities are obvious. The things that most afflict the country should be front and center. In a country where most of the population is now young and severely afflicted by unemployment, boosting employment opportunities, education, investment in human capital should be front and center of the investment that the country makes in its own people. But of course, in a country like Uganda, the dilemmas and the paradoxes persist. While we need to develop human capital and all these other things that go with development of a country, we are also afflicted with real threats to the security or survival of our system. Some of them foreign, like we have said in the situation with France, and some of them internal. So these contradictions are never far from the minds of the planners. But again, I think to disregard the threat that is brought to the table by people who are disenfranchised, people who feel the country has nothing to offer, I think those threats are at about the same level, as in threats that could come from armed insurgents. So I think balancing that is the real problem at this time. But I think that in itself is not a bad thing. But I think given the fact that Mr. Kasaija, he acknowledged that the resource envelope is shrinking. The COVID situation and other dynamics have conspired to make sure that URA is not taking in what it could take. And development partners have also shrunk their contribution because of their peculiar situations. So Mr. Kasaija presented a very real situation and he said, what should we do? The income has shrunk, the expenses have risen. How do we harmonize? I'm surprised that the finance minister would ask that. Of course, cut off, reduce your expenditure.
Start from that. Start from that,
So why would you skyrocket expenditure when you have shrinking income?
Wow. Now, Kawa, as we draw out of COVID, yet not yet sure of the same, but what should be our most prioritized budgetary allocations as we try to limp out of COVID? Where should we be focusing away from just the normal, like what was presented?
I'll start from the point where she brought in the aspect of, are we at war? Is it you? Are we at war? Channeling a lot of funds to security. Before, we have had a lot of budgets, and one of the priority sectors to me, there are about 3, but let me start with the health sector. You see, had we been allocating just enough for the health sector, the way we would have handled COVID during this time, wouldn't have had that issue of donation, bring money.
But then one would tell you even countries that have a better health system, well-financed, suffered more than Uganda.
And we are not that country. If we had that money here in Uganda, perhaps I would complain if we had everything and we are not working. But still we don't have it. So when you look at health, When you look at ICT, when you look at education, and when you look at security, if you have a healthy environment, people are able to work, they are healthy.
Yes.
If they are well safeguarded from any attack, if their territory is safe, it means they will be able to, even if you have improved ICT, we have industrialization and the agriculture sector bit of it, you have enough jobs and people are comfortable working in that kind of environment, then it would really do good for us. But when it comes to priority, I don't know what really informs our country or our government in terms of priority. For example, if security takes the biggest share of the national budget, why are we still seeing a lot of security officers crying out they are underpaid, their children are going to school, they don't have salary, others are not paid salary for quite a big... So you ask yourself, where does that money go?
Security.
In security, in that regard. If we had a very vibrant and happy security apparatus, including the human resource itself, then we would actually say, okay, I think it's high time Parliament took the issue of accountability very serious. I think the reason why we are not well informed on where our priorities are, it is because you are prioritizing a sector for which you do not have the robust accountability. They have not showed you what exactly they have done, but because it is security and it falls so much into the executive, you just try to ignore it and downplay it as security.
Okay.
But Felix, even before you go to the next point, I think this issue of a relaxed approach to constitutional order plagues everything that concerns the country.
Yes.
It plagues budgeting, it plagues execution of programs, it plagues everything. One of the things that the MPs raised, and they asked Mr. Kasaija to please return with a document that agrees with what they had said back in January, was they said this document you have presented is a flagrant disregard from National Development Plan 3 objectives.
Which is what we should be working towards now.
You approved the NDP 3 in late 2019. Why have you thrown everything to the wind and brought us a document we never agreed upon? Why did you not return to us to justify this position? We cannot continue like this. Please go back and do the right thing. So what I am saying is, if you agree on one thing, why do you change it midstream?
Indeed.
Why do you disregard the realities? Uganda will not stop its effort towards middle income status because we have security threats, because we have a health dilemma. Those interests remain front and center, and the planning authority was created to guide these sorts of discussions. So we cannot selectively implement some things in the light of new developments. We must develop the discipline to retain this, to keep on course, no matter what. Wow.
Well, of course, indeed, time is not our best ally. We have a couple of other interviews. Priscilla will be doing an interview, try and help us know more and much about this place. But just maybe to get your last comments, and I'll start with Ivan. Just two things. Talking about the budgetary allocation, but there's something also interesting that continuously the Minister of Finance brings documents. I think it also doesn't know to Parliament. This is like the fifth time, or I don't know. Well, you're always in the field, probably you've rubbed shoulders with Ndogo Kasaija. You should tell us what happened.
I remember I was with him in Chibali, I think about three weeks ago. and I like him because of one thing. He's always frank. Sometimes he says something, he says it was really a slip of the tongue. But to me as an individual, I believe he knows what to do. And he doesn't work alone. But he's the face. God. He's the face of the allocation of monies.
I don't know why.
That's what people think. I don't know why
Senior Kasaija always has something.
But indeed, my last bit on that, how much we have NDP 3 and whatever etc. You know, as we keep moving, we always plan strategically. But amidst, there are many things that come along. And in that regard, you have to also change the approach. However much you have a paper, like this is how we're going to move. And now you have the COVID-19 pandemic, and you know, You remember, I think last year URA was boasting of having made a lot of profits during COVID-19.
Yes.
And when someone comes and says we are constrained by, so you ask yourself, doesn't URA inform the finance boss that we are making a lot of money?
What are you saying?
And then the minister comes, actually our finances are shrinking. I think we need we need one robust spokesperson of Uganda
in terms of government issues.
Exactly. Otherwise, this kind of confusion. That's why it raises a lot of debates. And I wouldn't really want to see a lot of Ugandans start talking etc and whatsoever. Even the members of parliament, the minister is presenting a budget. Instead of castigating that why
pick out
let's
what
do
we can make.
No, just tell the minister, fine, I think we can do this if we want to achieve this and this. But the issue of castigating, MPs want to show status. Yeah?
Maybe that's where I should bring in Rachel here lastly. Are we getting justice from the people in these offices in terms of planning and again allocation of resources?
I don't think there'll ever be a day when there's total consensus concerning allocations. I don't think that day will arrive. We can only, I think, hope for a day when people are somewhat
just agree to disagree. Yeah,
because if someone is coming from the health sector, they want most for
the
that.
bias is towards that.
ICT, we're in real trouble.
Indeed.
UBC in particular, they stated that we're a non-funded priority. Can you imagine?
What a statement.
I don't know whether we'll limp out of this process without a budget
During
again.
COVID, everyone was saying UBC should be priority to teach Ugandans.
Someone in Parliament said it's a non-funded priority. But what we are saying is, if you gave the platform to ICT, they would argue vigorously that they need more money. So there will never be a day when we see eye to eye. However, I think at the end of the day, all of us want results. Yeah. Even if I do not agree with what you told me concerning why you gave money to what, no one can argue with results. No one. Even if they don't like you, even if they don't feel you, if you deliver, you deliver. Because I think our problem, even when URA has been doing better over the years, there is a lot of expenditure that is questionable. Some even call it wasteful. Some call it duplication. If those things are taken care of, you remove the platform from which someone would, you talked about people who castigate, but it's because they don't see where these things make meaningful impact.
Okay.
If there was good accountability, if there was good delivery, and I'm sure the government is working very hard. Now they've talked about the parish model. Yes. But people are saying, well, there was Intandikwa, there was OWC, there were all these things.
Now we have a
youth livelihood program and the women empowerment. Before we can see true, good, convincing fruits, we launch into something else. That is where the complaints are.
Well,
execution and delivery.
That's where we are as a country, but some of these things interest us, but they also make us a bit worried. But clearly, they give us a picture of what ought to be, what is and what is not. Our bestowment into our governance is that they would think best for us under the terms of social contract, and springing from the leadership of the presidency to the lowest of the LCs and all this. But sometimes we see, as Richard said, that most of these institutions are not in sync. And this has been habitual, quite habitual. You look at one institution is saying this. For example, you look at the feud between executive and parliament time and again, springing from the various aspects. You know, this leaves a bit of space for the people down there. Look at these programs you've just said, whatever, Mioga, who. If you're to evaluate the amounts of money pumped in these projects, so it's a bit nuts, you know. So the question is, how better can we work out these things? And importantly, for all of you, our viewers out there, it's important for us to pick a leaf and know how better we can get forth. But inclusive is also one of the things we can do together as a country, and also all administrative units out there. But of course, we are here at Fairway Hotel, quite a place beautiful in the center of this beautiful city, a place away from, of course, noise, but closer to the city noise. Clearly, you can hear the, you kickstart your day knowing what's happening around you. I was telling Kawa earlier that these traffic lights here have brought a lot of problems. I don't know if you've never noted, but as you go, you try to see. But anyway, Priscilla is there, and she's going to be giving us an interview, trying to help us get to know this place much more, probably talking to one of the members of this administration to enlighten us and to give us more. Well, as we try to link into Priscilla, I don't know how ready she is, but she'll be, well, maybe I'll also just ask Rachel and Kawa here. Rachel, how are you spending your weekend as we wait for Priscilla to take us through their interview?
Well, I think I'll keep that to myself because I'm taking a break today for the next 7 days.
Oh my God, no one should be looking for Rachel. Please leave her.
Oh yes.
She will look for, but she wants to be a part of the break.
Amina.
Kawa, how are you spending your weekend?
I think I should just read more about the budget allocations. You know, there is
what would be the interest?
There is some important point you mentioned, dear. You see, we have committees of parliament.
Oh yes.
And this committee, and even the budgets are allocated in quarterly basis. So, do you want to tell me that the MPs who are currently castigating the Minister for Finance have not had reports in the committees? They summoned the permanent secretaries to come and explain there is a lot of money that goes back to the National Treasury. Why is that money not used? And they come and they help. So that's what I'm saying now. You see that the legislature and
you've been reporting in Parliament for how long? You know the point you're asking to read. These people who is running on the Anyway, thank you so much for watching UBC, and of course, Good Morning Uganda. Today, special Friday, we've been doing a production here at Fairway Hotel in Kampala. Yes, Priscilla, how are you? And Priscilla, again, we are happy to have you also, to have you take us through this particular interview, and later on, of course, Ruben will come in. But I'll link you to Priscilla. Priscilla, how are you?
It is definitely a good morning, and on Good Morning Uganda, every single Friday, we make it so special to the extent that we take you outdoors and show you some of the good life that is within the city. Of course, focusing on Kampala, we are in the heart of the city around Nakasero, and we have had the awesome honor of being at Fairway Boutique Hotel. It was founded in 1969, and for over 50 years they have influenced Uganda's hospitality. And I want to know more, because this is an Asian-owned property. Asians were taken out of Uganda in 1972. However, some have been able to come back home, get back into business, and influence not only hospitality but equally the economy of Uganda. I want to find out more. I'm pretty sure you're also dying to know, what does Fairway Hotel have to offer in the new normal? And here to have this conversation with me is the general manager for Fairway Boutique Hotel. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
How are you? His name is Mr. Samson Mboga, man from Kisii, all the way from Kenya, crossing the borders and coming to Uganda. And you have been in the hospitality industry under Fairway Boutique Hotel for 6 years. What has that experience been like?
Actually, I would say it's like I came when the directors decided to invest in this property. And for those who have been coming around, they can see the massive improvement in all areas.
Yes.
And all other facilities.
Yes. Yeah. I will testify. I used to come here when I was a child, of swimming here and having lunches here with my family every single Saturday. My uncle Geoffrey and Auntie Betty would bring us here as cousins, and would have to spend the day here. So this is a hotel that personally resonates with me, and I think it's one of those seasons where I then admired traveling and experiencing new spaces, and I'm definitely seated in a new space that wasn't here at that time. So let's talk about 50 plus years. I think it's 52 years now. Yes, now 52 years of influencing Uganda's hospitality. First of all, man from Kenya, how have you found Ugandan hospitality, generally speaking?
For sure, Ugandans, first of all, they are very friendly people.
That's good.
Yeah, when you compare with other people in the region.
Yes.
I think in Uganda they are very reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they are number one.
Yeah. Yes, Obugaro to the Ugandans. Yeah.
You know, you walk around the street.
Yes.
You are stopped by the Uganda police officers. They can obviously know you are Kenyan.
Yeah.
But so long as you have not broken the law, you have no much issues with it. But in Kenya, I've been there in the hotel industry in Nairobi.
Yeah.
We had exchange people from other foreign countries. I used to work in a multinational. So wherever they are out, they have to carry their passport, and of course they have to also show. I've been asked for my passport.
Yeah.
For the last 13 years I've been working.
Yeah. So that means that we are welcoming people, we're loving people, and we definitely love to have a good time. And have those three things been reflected in being number one in actually exposing Ugandans' hospitality here at the hotel?
Actually, what we have done, and I would say it's a culture. You see, it's a family business. I would say the owners from the founder, whom I didn't find. I found the son, who passed away 2 years ago. Themselves, actually, they are Indians, but they are very nice Indians. Come across because the way they handle from the staff, and all the visitors. And all even the associates, our stakeholders.
Speaking of associates, I know this is a family business and it's been in this country for 52 years as we're speaking. And in those 52 years, I know there's had to be evolution because times have changed. The economy has changed. The country has changed. Everything has changed. Once upon a time, Ugandans were more or less family-oriented people, but now they've gotten to appreciate that they can actually enjoy life outside of their homes. And with the revamp that has happened to this place, you had a renovation, you had to put up some new structures here so that you can bring a new feel of fairness in a way that is amazing. Let's talk about the new revamping. Why did you do it?
You see, actually we have not put any new building. What we have done is we have done a renovation. So we have changed give the new look, the fresh look. So that's what we have done. We have maintained the old structure the way it was. It's only that we have done renovation.
Okay. I also want to know the fusion of Asian in this property is wonderful. Like every single, I know Asians, they know how to utilize small spaces. That even if it's just a compound, it's going to be a beautiful, marvelous looking compound, and it's going to have those nitty gritties. I see a teacup sort of sitting area in one of the garden areas that you have here, and I'm thinking, wow, that's really mind-blowing and very, very creative. The maintenance of the Asian fusion on this property, why have you done that?
You see, Kampala is a cosmopolitan city.
That is true.
And then we have so many Asians around. We have the local people whom we really value and who are one of our main customers. And of course the international from Europe and Asia. So what we have tried to do, we are trying to blend the Asian, continental and the African team. If you see even our meals, if you go to our breakfast, you will see we have a touch of Indian, we have a touch of continental, we have a local touch. So we cater for all the people around in Canberra. So anytime you walk in here, you are at home, you get what you want. Yes.
Let's talk about the meals. Now I am hungry. You do now have 2 restaurants that are on this property, and what do those restaurants offer? Yes,
the restaurant upstairs is mainly for continental and local dishes, and it's very popular for, especially when we have a conference, walk-ins. Local people are staying in our hotel, the regional people, they normally frequent there. And then when we have people from Asia, the Asian Fusion restaurant, which is one of the best in town, actually we have the Indian and Chinese cuisines. and it's very popular, and you see people, even the local people, the international people, they really appreciate the Asian dishes. So you will find even the local people, international local people, they come, and the local staying in Kampala also, they come to our restaurant. Actually, we could say 70% of the people who come to our restaurants, they're the residents of Kampala, not hotel residents. Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. Interesting to note, I had my birthday last year here at the Asian Fusion restaurant because I love Indian food. And the person who brought me here knew that I love spicy Indian food. So I had my birthday here. So I will testify that the Asian Fusion restaurant is one of a kind, and it's a class. And just even the new interior decoration has put it on another level. Yes. So I do commend you for a job well done with the Fusion Asian restaurant. Let's talk about accommodation. I know that you do have over 100 rooms, about 100 rooms. What are the different types of rooms and that you offer here?
Actually, to start with, we have, I could say, like 3 types of rooms. We have rooms which we cater for tourists. You know, tourists, when they come, they are not coming to invest. So you find mostly they like twin bedrooms and a triple. So we have one wing which is catered for that kind of segment, and then we have the standard rooms which are very spacious with the queen size bed, and then we have the executive rooms which are one of the best rooms in town now, which are catering for the high profile corporate. Yeah.
All right. Then also, what other services do you offer here? I know you do have a spa. I saw a person down there doing some gymnastics. And so what are those other services that come with the hotel? Okay, we have the spa. Only that the gym is still under renovation. It's not yet ready. The spa is already done. It's very beautiful. It's one of the best in town. And also we have done the swimming pool. We have a medium-sized swimming pool, which is very cozy with all the ambience. It's very modern now, and it caters for we have the children side and for adults. And also we have introduced recently now, about 2 weeks ago, we are doing muchomo on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah. So since we started, from what time? From Friday, from around 4. Until the curfew time, and then Saturday and Sunday is from lunchtime. Yes. All right, Mr. Sampson, you're making it tempting for me to come back here in the evening and enjoy that muchomo. Now, as we come to a close, we have not talked about this space. It is looking executive. It looks like it's for people that sign checks and make important decisions. What is this place we're in? This is our corporate. We can call it like a lounge. It's a bar. We call it the Professor. It's one of the place where you want to relax after hard work, and you can meet friends, discuss if you chill out, and you can meet even corporate people and discuss business. It's very quiet. We have very soft music, and it's very cool, and with variation. You can see the windows are well open. So it's one of the properties that we have redone again. Yes. Well, new normal is here. We can't change that. What is the future of Fairway Boutique Hotel for the next 50 years? Yes. You know, now under the current director, Mr. Asa Ari Jaffa, we intend to open other facilities very soon, and within Canberra and the country, and even in the region. That's the aim we are. And we intend in the next classification, we want to get minimum of 4-star, but our aim is to get a 5-star boutique. Actually, we want to get a 5-star boutique hotel. You do functions, weddings, parties? Yes, we are very popular on weddings. Actually, we have had people are wedding who their grandfathers, their fathers wedded here. So they say our father wedded here. So yes, and actually we are very popular, although we are under medium size because of our space. It's very popular every weekend. Like tomorrow, I think I have about 3 weddings. But because of COVID, they are of small sizes. Mr. Man from Kisu, how can people make reservations? How can people get in touch with the hotel? Yeah, actually, if you
Of course, you can call our landline on 0414-259-572-71. Yes.
On the website?
The website, you can get us on www.fairwayhotel.co.uk. Yeah, or stroke marketing at fairwayhotel.co.uk. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Samson. It's been a pleasure. We'll continue this conversation in your office. We do have sports update coming through, and Ruben Pima is also going to be talking to us about this Vipers and Express game. It's definitely one tug of war. Who is going to be the bigger dog at the end of the evening? The match starts off at 4 p.m., but we definitely have enjoyed it here. They have told you, you can always come here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and do the mchomo, but I highly recommend the Asian Fusion restaurant. They have one of the best dishes as far as Indian food is concerned and Chinese food is concerned. But you can start in the morning, come for a swim, do the spa, then have your lunch, and voila, you would have enjoyed and relaxed over the weekend, courtesy of Fairway Boutique Hotel.
Has really been a fantastic outing, if you ask me. And my colleagues, Benedict here, I love the trousers, really. He has a good gin, and so many people here with. Anyway, my name is Ruben, and I'm going to give you sports. I thank the team that started with you way back from 6:30 up to where we are now. And as we join the team in the studio, that is the Pan-African team where Jagenda is the conductor, I need to give you sports, and I'll start with the round of 16. That's the Uganda Cup. The fixtures would be Vipers will take on UPDF, that will be in Bombo. Prayer will take on Mbare Heroes, that will be in Lugogo, Philippo Mondi Stadium. Then Onduparaka will take on SC Villa. Good fixture, if you ask me. That will be away in Ababet Greenlight Stadium. Then Wachiso Giants will take on Toro United. That will be in Kabaka Chiabagu Stadium. Then Police will take on Bright Stars. That will be in Lugogo. Express will take on URA. Wow, wow. That will be and Express fans are hoping that the end of results this is today, and I'm pretty sure that Express know what it means to play against a top team like Vipers, and the coach has already organized his troops to take on Vipers. So I will expect the best, and I know that Express fans are going to travel in numbers, only that they have got to be watching the game, maybe on via radio. Maybe they can't go to a stadium because of the SOPs, but because of the COVID-19. So you can hear, you can not just switch or get to Star FM, that is under UBC TV, and get the game live from St. Mary's. Then we'll have Chetum against Wachiso Giants, that will be at 4 p.m. as well. Then tomorrow, Police will take on Maida, Bright Stars against URA, UPDF will take on Kitara, and Bull will be taking on Busoga United. Then in the Premier League, was the crossover from the local sport. Liverpool will take on Newcastle at 2:30. That will be tomorrow. Then West Ham will take on Chelsea. That's a good London derby of sorts. West Ham are a team on form, and Chelsea are really not playing well. They do with West Brom in midweek. That was 0-0. So they will be looking up to getting 3 points, but I don't think it's going to be easy for them against West Ham. Sheffield will take on Brighton. That will be at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Then in Spain, of course, I'll start with Germany. Wolfsburg will take on Dortmund. That will be at the VW Arena in Wolfsburg. Then Freiburg will take on Hoffenheim. Union Berlin will take on Werder Bremen. Mainz will take on Bayern Munich, and Bayer Leverkusen will take on Frankfurt. Then the Serie A will have Genoa against Spezia. Parma will take on Crotone, and Sassuolo will take on Sampdoria. That will be in Italian Serie A. In La Liga, we shall have H against Levante. Valladolid will take on Cadiz. Valencia will take on Deportivo Alves. And Madrid will take on Betis. That will be in the Spanish La Liga. So I think I've got to go. The team is waiting in the studio. That is the Pan-African team. Mututa, Jagenda, and Akol are in the studio. I don't know what they're discussing about this morning, but they have a lot for you. From us, the GMU team, we wish you a blessed weekend. And don't forget that we'll be on Monday to take you through. And COVID-19 is real. You need to move with your face mask on. And of course, maintain the SOPs. As the president said, COVID-19 is still with us. We need to maintain the SOPs or observe the SOPs. And we also need to move with our face masks on. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
What does it mean to be closer together? It's taking the last bus home for a surprise visit. Closer together is strangers finding a connection. It's bringing home something much more than a box. It's the warmth of home, or the beginning of something new. There's magic in sharing the things that we love, because it's those things that bring us close together.
No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire. Load MTN Freedom bundles using my MTN app